Wednesday, everyone. I'm Lindsay Mills.
And I'm Lee Goldberg. We've been talking all week about that big mother of a storm that's coming on Sunday, but there's a little baby storm that might be coming on Friday, and here's our big baby. Keith,
a little baby.
Tell us all about it.
Just a little baby storm coming in. Yeah, before we get to that, today was actually pretty nice, right, guys? Not bad. Lee, I saw you, windows down, driving out
today.
Earlier. 37 in Portland is what we are at right now. 32 in Wiscasset, 31 in Waterville. Temperatures, though, will plunge as we have an Arctic front coming through. That's where the snow showers and snow squalls are coming from. Most of these are staying in the foothills and mountains, but a few of them making their way downhill as just a couple of flurries here later tonight. Not a big deal, but it's an air mass change. And so overnight tonight, temperatures fall quickly into the single digits and perhaps below zero in the mountains, getting to around 10 or so, even along the immediate coastline. By early tomorrow morning, you can see Rangeley, Greenville below zero, Caribou below zero as well. And tomorrow's a sunny day, but we struggle with the temperatures, 17, 18 degrees along the coast, single digits farther into the mountains. All right, here comes our first storm, moving in late Thursday night into early Friday. It's just a little clipper, so it's going to be light snow, maybe a little mixing over York County into southern Cumberland County, but this is consistent, easy to forecast. 1 to 2 inches of snow will do it, and it moves out on Friday afternoon. So our map for this one isn't all that interesting. 1 to 2, 2 to 4, a little local enhancement here over parts of down East Maine. Guys, Jess peer pressured me into making an early map for Sunday, so you'll see that in a few minutes. Gonna be a big deal.
Yes.
Good deal, good deal. Keith, thanks. Well, the only American who died in yesterday's terror attacks in Kenya graduated from Hebron Academy in Maine.
Yeah, his name is Jason Spindler. He attended this school, graduating in 1996, even though he's actually from Texas. Spindler was the only American among 14 people that were killed in a blast and heavy gunfire at an upscale hotel and office complex in Kenya's capital. This happened yesterday.
Chris Costa has more on who Spindler was.
The flag here at Hebron Academy is at half-staff in honor of Jason Spindler, who graduated from the school in 1996. He only attended Hebron for 2 years, but quickly became the swim team's captain. His former swim coach remembers him as a strong swimmer and remarkable young man.
You could tell he was prepared to do something pretty special with his life, even when he was a junior in high school.
Bill Wallace remembers meeting Jason Spindler for the first time, not as a member of the swim team, but when Spindler came for his first interview at the school.
He came in, he just filled the room. He just seemed to have all the confidence in the world.
Spindler came to Hebron Academy in 1994. He was an admissions ambassador and a member of the diversity committee. He went on to found iDev International, a financial advising company. His mother says he was working in Kenya to make a positive change in emerging third world markets.
It's absolutely awful news. It's an incredible life cut short.
Hebron Academy's headmaster Dan Marchetti never got to meet Spindler, but says the school is proud of his commitment to helping others.
And so clearly he's someone who saw a calling to a greater good. Those are the types of kids, people, adults that can make a difference in community and in the world. Well, we'll be sure to honor his life at Hebron, and I can promise you he won't be forgotten here.
The attack in Nairobi was not the first time Spindler faced terrorists. He survived the September 11th attacks while working in New York City, according to his brother on Facebook. He later joined the Peace Corps.
The world to him was always an optimistic place. He never looked at it as a dangerous place or a place that you're going to stay away from or anything like that.
Wallace says Spindler was nothing short of successful.
Success measured in terms of impacting other people's lives.
Jason's younger brother, Jonathan, also graduated from Hebron Academy in 2002. The headmaster says they're finding new ways to make sure that Jason's legacy is always remembered, even after only a short time in this state. In Hebron, Chris Costa, News Center, Maine.
Not only was the president. Other headlines today, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi asking the president to postpone his State of the Union address, citing the government shutdown. She sent a letter to the White House pointing to security concerns and asking Mr. Trump to reschedule his address until after the government reopens or deliver it in writing. The address is currently scheduled for January 29th before Congress. No response yet from the White House.
Well, a piece of ice that has formed in the Presumpscot River has captivated the world. Thousands, yes, thousands of people are mesmerized by the whirling wonder in Westbrook on social media. An update today, the disc has stopped spinning. In case you missed it last night, meteorologist Ryan Breton explained how the disc was actually formed. You can check out his story on our website or on our mobile app. We are exactly 4 days away from kickoff of the AFC Championship game between the Patriots and the Chiefs, in case you didn't know. As we talked about earlier this week, should be pretty cold in Kansas City, which doesn't really bother Coach Belichick at all.
Build the forecast for Sunday is temperatures in the single digits, wind chill below 0. How does that impact preparations for the game and perhaps
we're
playing
getting
out the
ready
game?
for the Chiefs, whatever it is, it is.
Do you mind playing in severe cold?
Love to play in a championship game. Schedule wherever you want. We'll be there.
Stone cold facial expressions.
it.
Be sure to follow Jess, Chris, and Zach's journey to Arrowhead this week. The crew will arrive Friday ahead of the big game on Sunday. And a little hashtag That's So Maine combined with some New England flavor. Check out this street sign off Route 115 in gray, Belichick Way. That is pretty timely, don't you think?
That was sent in by viewer P. Liddy, who sends us regularly as he travels our state the That's So Maine pictures, and we appreciate the contribution. Had to smile at that one.
Yeah.
All right, we talked a lot about this yesterday, at least a little bit about this yesterday. It's the controversy about the advertisement that's kind of taking the internet by storm. The Gillette razor company put out a different kind of an ad on Monday featuring boys and men and the way that they act towards others.
A lot of people praising the ad for the way it challenges men to support each other and women. Others are saying it's an attack on masculinity. Cam O'Brien is here to break it down. Hey, Cam.
Hey, guys. It seems like it's the ad seen around the world. It's had over 20 million views on YouTube with hundreds of thousands of retweets on Twitter. So we're going to play it for you.
Bullying.
The Me Too movement against sexual harassment.
Masculinity. Is this the best a man can get?
And in the ad, you at first see men and boys watching or seeing potential violence or sexual aggression, but later those same men, intervene and kind of change the course of the actions. And a lot of people are making comments about this on social media. We just have a few of them here. Billie Jean King thanking Gillette for having the conversation in the first place. And where's the toilet one? So this is my personal favorite, where a man says, "Goodbye, Gillette, hello, Schick," by War Room, and throws his razor in the toilet. I don't think that's going to end up well for him or the toilet. So we want to hear about what you have to think about the Gillette ad. We've made it a pulse question. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Or is it just another ad? We want to hear from you, so go ahead and vote on pulse.newscentermaine.com. And I spoke with somebody who says that they think this ad is a lot to do about not much at all. Professor Julie Langeway-Peterson is one of the millions of people who has watched the Gillette razor ad released Monday.
I think my initial reaction to it was like, oh, it's nice to see something different, particularly around men's sort of beauty work.
The Gillette ad addresses toxic masculinity through topics like violence and sexual aggression that are often associated with the male gender role. Professor Peterson says it's angering men who never saw those traits as being problematic.
Boys will be boys, and boys should be allowed to be somewhat aggressive or solve conflicts by throwing a punch instead of talking it out. That they believe in that aspect of masculinity, and to suggest that it is inappropriate or negative or toxic is making these individuals angry.
In the end, Dr. Peterson says it's important to remember that companies like Gillette market their product through these social topics as a way to make money.
But I think we shouldn't be fooled that these companies are doing this selflessly, right? They are in a capitalistic society, they are trying to make money, and they do care about their bottom line.
Professor Peterson says although a lot of people are responding to this ad online, she imagines that the majority of people haven't been all that moved by the ad. The people that are standing out are the ones that feel majorly impacted by what they saw and took to social media. So let's take a look at that conversation on Pulse. 43% of you say you love it, 33% of you say you hate it, well, now 35, and then 22 say just another ad. Keep the conversation going on Facebook Live, and if you haven't done so already, vote on Pulse.
Awesome, Cam. Thanks so much. Some interesting commentary there, too, especially with the pictures of throwing the razor blades away.
I'm wondering how long that poor guy's razor is going to be in his toilet, though, because I'm just saying it's not going It's not going to flush.
That's exactly.
Just throwing it out there.
That's what I was thinking
we'll
too.
brain drop that. Can you flush a razor?
Can you flush
Keith?
a razor?
Where's Keith?
Yeah, that
All
is.
right. We'll get to
that's
that.
sideways. Okay. Well, it's a new year, right? And we've been talking a lot about getting physically fit, right? But what about in terms of our finances? Maybe you want to save more in the new year, spend less. We're going to talk to an expert about how you can go about doing that.
And we're going to meet a woman who goes out of her way to raise a bunch of money for some really good causes, about a nickel at a time. You won't want to miss this. Okay.
All right, where's our friend? John, come on over.
Oh.
Hey, Facebook, how's it going? Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Jeff. So, John, you'll be on that side of the table. Lee and I will be over here.
Credit score, savings.
Sure. Yeah, let's yeah. Sorry, so it's so funny. This is our Facebook Live feed.
Yeah.
And so we check in to see what people are saying during the show.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
So that's just what I was
Very
doing.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, I guess what's like the number one question you get from people this time of year?
Where do you start?
Am I out of this, or is
No,
this,
no, it's both of us.
Oh, okay, I actually didn't know.
Oh yeah.
I think the number one question.
Wait, what?
Is where do
He
we
wants me
start?
on the inside?
Okay.
I'm sorry. What?
Number one question we get is where do we start?
Where do you
I think
start?
People get overwhelmed and
Okay.
think, you know. think you have
Can
to
you, Liam,
automatically
can you
fix their
switch
credit
10
overnight and become a great,
for now?
you know, consumer. And
Sure.
The reality is it's not.
Sure.
To
But I
10
think people need
to
get a
prompter,
track
I
of their
guess.
expenses first and
Sure.
figure out what's
Yeah,
still
thank
coming
you.
in, what's going out, and then start somewhere.
Sure.
And, you know, people often, you know, it's like, well, I don't know where to start. Well, you've got to start somewhere.
Right. Got to start somewhere. Good
What's
deal,
up,
good deal.
everybody? We're way behind on the hellos.
But guys, we're about to talk with John Paradise from Financial Town and Country.
Town and Country Federal Credit Union.
Town and Country Federal Credit Union, thank you. And let us know right now your questions that you have in terms of getting financially fit in the new year. We're going to ask John some questions on TV, and then afterwards he's going to stick around for the break to take your questions live. So whatever financial questions you have for getting in good shape in this new year, 2019, fire them our way.
Leo, that is a great suggestion. Let's have a GoFundMe page so I can have a microphone to talk to Facebook since Lindsay keeps taking it. It's a great idea. Maybe John can come up with a way for us to save for me to have a microphone that works.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jessa.
Payroll deduction.
Do you want to start?
Lots of people saying hi to John Paradise.
Yeah.
Already.
Scary.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
Financial wellness. Boy, don't we all like to talk about that, especially when the new year begins. We're going to give you some help with that.
And John Paradise from Town and Country Federal Credit Union is here with us to talk to us about that. Now, John, when we want to get in shape financially, where do we begin? Is that something a lot of people ask?
It is. People, you know, every new year, people say, this is the year I'm going to get financially well and financially fit. And then come December, next year's the year I'm going to do that. I think the reality is it doesn't happen overnight. You know, people need to realize that it's a patient process in this day of instant gratification that's very difficult to teach, and to, especially on younger people. But on, you know, on older people, people have a difficult time managing their finances. And if they understand that, and understand that Rome wasn't built in a day, finances weren't fixed overnight, I think they'll be a lot better off.
There are so many people and families that will say, listen, I'm barely making it right now, you know, with the stuff that we think are our bare necessities. So how do you work with them to say, you know what, this maybe isn't one of your bare necessities that you think, and maybe have a bigger picture plan?
You know, it's needs versus wants, really. And I think people need to, like you said, Lee, look at the long-term impact of going out. Do you really need that cup of coffee every morning? Well, maybe you need it, but maybe you don't have to go out and buy it. Or maybe you don't have to buy that extra lunch packet every day, maybe every other day, or at least start slowly. don't go cold turkey. That's the worst thing, because that is really going to doom you to failure, because you're really cutting off everything and you're not giving yourself any reward. So start small, start slowly, but you've got to look at needs and wants and figure it out from there.
So don't really punish yourself.
Don't punish yourself.
How can checking your credit report help you get in a good situation?
Well, the average credit score is about 687 nationwide. In Maine, it's about 685 or so. Check your credit score. I mean, at Town & Country, we have a tool where you can check your credit score literally in real time, ongoing. So figure out what your credit is, figure out where you'd like it to be, start slowly. If you have a 680 credit right now, don't say I'm going to build it to 800 next year. That's probably not going to happen. But again, you've got to have a benchmark, know where you are, and then get a handle on where you want to go.
All right, John Paradise, thank you for your time. You're going to stick around and answer some questions for our live Facebook and YouTube feed, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. All right, we'll take a look at our post results before we go to commercial. It is 41% say we love it, 34% say we're all set with that Gillette ad, and 25% say, hey, it's just another commercial. So we'll keep checking in on that.
Thank you guys for voting.
All right, coming up, a do-gooder, if you will, from Lisbon is taking it upon herself to help a lot of people in need. A very heartwarming story.
And what's the story with peace today? I guess that's a question we ask every day. We're going to find out. Come on over here with us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can come right over here actually. Okay. You can stand right here. All right. Let's see what people are asking. Oh, we have Christian asking about a money tree, if planting one works.
Well, so my question would be, which we ran out of time, and I have to use Lindsay's mic, so that's why I'm leaning in.
Yeah.
I think people feel like if you can't save a lot of money, what's the point of saving any money? And I think you kind of touched on that, but like, how little can you save where you look back and go, this actually made a difference?
I would say as little as $5 a week.
Really?
I mean, because again, it is making a difference. It's, if you figure it out, it's what, $260 extra a year over the course of the year.
Wow.
It doesn't sound like a lot, but again, you're getting in that habit. And I think the most important thing is start building good habits. Even if you've not had a great financial past.
Sure.
It's never too late.
What if you have to decide between putting money away for savings or paying down debt? What should you do first?
I think you should talk to a financial institution first off. And figure out, maybe there's a way to refinance that debt and consolidate that debt. Maybe it's a better rate to get in on that debt. But if not, you've got to, I think, pay a little bit on both.
Sure.
And don't put it all in one basket and don't do nothing with the other basket.
Sure.
All right, I'm not letting you go with our final 30 seconds without this. Longtime voice of hockey at the Cumberland County Civic Center. How much do you miss it, and how much did you love it while you were there?
It was I would have done it for free, as my wife reminds me. It was such a joy to be involved with a great organization, a great product. I mean, it was so much fun, and so I miss it a lot. I still keep in touch with a lot of the guys, so I guess I'm still around it. I'm thrilled hockey's back.
I'm happy hockey's here.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go. John, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Good to see you.
Don't take that
Thank
microphone
you.
We can't afford another one. We need to start financially planning for that.
We're going to the newsroom, my friend. Okay. I'm not bringing my thing. Okay. Thanks. Good to see you too. So this is good doer.
Just ask. I'm going to ask you a question again.
Oh my God, questions.
This works well.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Just when I thought we would forget.
Make Jeff work hard.
I know, I do. Sorry.
It's supposed to be 4 6.
All right, I'm obviously way closer to this than you, but do you think about someday retiring and what you might do?
No.
not even a little.
I'm not even there yet.
Okay, so
I'm just focused on what my next meal's gonna be.
When I dream of retirement around the age of 100, when all my kids are grown, I dream of what it's gonna look like. There's a woman from Maine who has a very different vision of what her retirement has looked like.
And once I retired, I thought, now what? What am I gonna do? I'm not gonna lay by a pool and eat bonbons.
Pat Poulin spent more than 4 decades as a nurse. The 69-year-old grandmother of 6 was looking for a project when she retired and found Pencils of Promise, an organization that provides schools in parts of the world where they are desperately needed. About 5 years ago, Pat decided she would raise $25,000 for a new school in Ghana. Her method of fundraising? Collecting cans and bottles.
Oh, I went dumpster diving.
Did you really?
I'm not proud. I did. I went dumpster diving at a lordship. My God, you should see all the bottles and cans in their dumpsters.
It took 2.5 years to collect enough bottles and cans, but she came up with the money to no one's surprise.
I thought it was a pretty lofty challenge, 25,000 with bottles and cans. But knowing Pat, I knew she would do it. I knew we could work together, and I have the truck, she's got the brains, so we're all set.
Pat wasn't done there. After the school was built, she raised $3,300 for a fresh water well in India, and her current project is to raise $22,000 for an orphanage. She has just under $1,000 raised so far.
Why was I born in Maine, and I have all these luxuries, and you have somebody born in India with nothing? There's a balance there. It's like you have to do something.
So $25,000 raised for that school in Ghana, and that, for those of you scoring at home, is 400,000 cans and bottles collected literally side of the road. They're talking about how they would take rides to Rangeley, and she would say, honey, pull over, and they would hit the side of the road and start loading stuff into the back of the truck. And then when you finish, I figured, okay, that must have been you were done. Nope, now I got to do a water well, and now I'm going to go do an orphanage, and my goodness.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great stuff. So.
Really, really good stuff.
What are you doing for other people, Keith?
Not that.
What are you doing?
Not that. I'm telling them stuff they don't want to hear for the most part. So go back into the freezer the next day, but the storm systems are the story, guys. 37 today in Portland, 34 in Bangor. A relatively moderate day compared to where we've been over the last week or so, but we're going to go back down into the freezer here overnight tonight and into tomorrow, part of an Arctic front right here. The air mass is back towards Quebec, but there's a bunch of snow showers and snow squalls out ahead of it. For the most part, these haven't been all that strong, but a few of them could put down a dusting of snow, especially over western Maine, coming out of the mountains of New Hampshire. That's where we could accumulate a bit. Most of them die out by the time they get to the coastline. After that, the story is just how temperatures drop and drop and drop tonight and into the day tomorrow. Below 0 across northern Maine and the mountains by tomorrow morning, right around 10 along the coastline. And then even with the sunshine, and there'll be a lot of it tomorrow, we're going to have a hard time really warming up, probably ending up at 20 absolute best over the southern part of the state. And a lot of us, though, staying 8, 9, 10 degrees across northern Maine. Then we watch our next storm system. It moves in on Friday. As I mentioned, this is a clipper, so pretty straightforward. It does snow through your morning commute through the early afternoon, but it's light stuff all the way through, and then it moves out on Friday afternoon. So snowfall amounts there, 1 to 2 for most of us, 2 to 4 over parts of down East Maine. There could be some localized enhancement there. So our forecast gets more interesting, though, after a quiet Saturday. Here comes our storm Saturday night. We're going to get what we call overrunning snow to start. So everywhere Saturday night, Sunday, it is throwing down snow fast. And it's cold, too. Probably not this cold. This is a computer model. But it's going to be cold enough for a lot of fluff factor here, even along the coastline across the interior. Continues to snow through the middle of the day. There may be some precip issues along the coast at this point on Sunday, especially over southern coastal Maine with perhaps some sleet and freezing rain. Still snowing Sunday night before it moves out on Monday. There's a little disagreement, though, between that model we showed you and the American GFS model, which, as you'll note, is a little bit warmer, and that will make a big difference when snowfall totals come down to it. So, guys, I had a map. This really just happened. We had a map. We want it to be early first, and the model that just came in was so divergent of the rest of them that I deleted it. Because I'd rather just wait until tomorrow morning and have Todd do it than be out there. But I would say, in general, it's fair to say I think most of the state will end up with 10 to 20 inches of snow.
Todd or Sharon Sharon did the news.
She was
did the
looking
weather
good out
today.
there. She was.
Yeah.
So whoever wants to do it tomorrow,
Sure.
I think we'll probably have to just wait one more day.
By the way, I was in Somerset County today for a story that you guys will see tomorrow. I couldn't believe how high the snowbanks were there.
Oh yeah, the snowpack's high already, so if we get
Yeah.
another 15, 20 on top of it.
Here we go.
Yeah, but
All right, check this out, my favorite video of the day. It's an eagle. Nicholas Batchelder was ice fishing on Little Sebago and Wyndham.
Oh, cool.
He and his friends felt the intense glare of a nearby eagle perched in his nest high above them. The friends stepped away. The eagle wasted no time, swooped in, and cautiously kind of looking, anybody looking, anybody watching, and took the fish and said, "See you later," and flew away. I love how the eagle is kind of like side-eyeing though. Like, is anybody watching this? Like, what's going on?
What a shot.
Can I get away with stealing this fish here? Watch. Here we go. It's worth watching again.
This is the closest I've ever been to a bald eagle.
And hold on, and I gotta take it in. I gotta go. It's so cool. That's great.
They're eating good tonight.
Right?
Sounds good. All right, a lot more coming up on News Center Maine at 5:30. We're checking in with Amanda for a preview. Hey, Amanda.
Hey, guys. The man accused of killing his girlfriend Monday morning made his first court appearance today. Dwight Osgood Jr. faces charges of shooting Carrie Dill to death inside their home. Plus, Netflix announces another rate hike for its subscribers. What does that mean as the company faces even more competition? That's all ahead on News Center at 5:30. Back to you.
Amanda, thanks so much. Stick with us. Brain drops when we come back.
All right. Wasn't that eagle video so cool?
That was so cool.
Seriously, so cool. J-Bar, I did do the weather once at my first job in Clarksburg, West Virginia. I was never asked to do it again. I'm not quite sure what that means.
So in Peoria, Clay and I anchored a 4-hour morning show every day. And sometimes one of us in the crew would have to, have a bathroom break or go get a drink of water or whatever. And so if our meteorologist went for a break, we would have to fill in and do the weather because there was a hit every single block. There was either a little hit or a big hit every single block. And so sometimes I could talk under the graphics and people would have no idea. They would think Lauren was still there. But it was kind of scary because you don't want to get that stuff wrong.
Well, so many people rely on it. You don't want to mess it up.
Right. And I'm all about that. Obviously, I'm ingrained to do that anyway with any story I cover, news related. But when it comes to the forecast, there's science involved, and that's where I cannot deliver. Can't deliver on the science.
My goodness.
All right.
All right. What's brain drops today?
It's a topic we've discussed before.
Okay.
Recently, which is we talked about would they tell us if we were going to.
Yes, we're going back there.
There happened to be an article on it today.
No.
So, I thought
nightmares.
of you guys.
My God, I don't know if I can handle this.
What's the final post result? 35%.
42? 42, 32. 42 love, 32 hate.
Hate is a strong word.
That's the way he worded it. I wouldn't have used it.
Really?
I wouldn't have used hate.
My grandpa always says hate is a strong word.
I don't let my kids use hate.
Really?
No.
But you're about to say it.
No, I'm not. 42 love it. 32 don't.
Oh, I thought hate it.
No, I know that's what it says. I'm not saying it.
Oh.
And the little ones can't read, so we're all set. Or I'll just have you do it.
I'm just kidding.
Stand by. We got pulse first.
Final check of the pulse poll, 42% of you say you love the new Gillette ad, 32% not so much, and the rest of you say, hey, whatever. Just another commercial.
Well, brain drops revisiting one of my most favorite brain
Lindsay
drops
nightmare.
of yet.
Your favorite. A couple weeks ago we talked about this. How did we even get on the topic? But it was whether or not NASA scientists would tell us if there was an asteroid coming that would destroy the Earth.
Because I said with so many of them out there, it's amazing one hasn't hit us yet.
That's what it was. That's what it was. You're right. And so this is an article that just popped up today. I was like, we got to do this. Basically, they asked a couple of NASA representatives, and their answer was yes. And it wasn't for any moral reason other than a lot of private citizens have telescopes, and they basically said they would see it coming.
So yes,
so
they
we might
would
as well
tell
tell
us.
people. But let's go on to reassure Lindsay a little bit. Next article, which is there are some plans. We're not totally ready. There are some plans. The number one plan, believe it or not, is to launch a spacecraft at it at a certain angle in which to deflect it. But you'd have to do it pretty far out there, right? If you only could deflect it by a degree or two, in order for it to miss the Earth, you'd have to do it pretty far away from the Earth. The other option is kind of Bruce Willis-y. It does involve ballistic missiles. The only problem with that, well, there's a lot of difficulties. One is you don't get thrust in outer space like that, right? So how are you directing the missile exactly where you want it to be? They're actually doing some more experiments in 2021 to develop a legitimate plan here, which I think, honestly, like maybe this should be like the #1 priority.
Yeah.
Like, how do we not get the entire Earth vaporized by an asteroid? Let's start there and then figure out everything else after that.
I don't know how that
Right?
Bruce Willis plan could fail. I would have him.
I think
he should be in charge of the plan. Is what I'm saying.
And
Like, he should get involved
in 2021 if we go up there and try it. But it's amazing. It's not like I said. Elon Musk is landing reverse thrusters, but like maybe let's figure this out.
Imagine the math of being the person in charge of figuring out
Little
where you have to
pressure.
send it. Like, don't be off by at
Jess is a
all.
math teacher.
Yeah, I
Jess-
also loved how
Jess could do
you
it.
use Bruce Willis's name as an adjective. Anytime names can be used as verbs or
Right.
adjectives,
You've made
it's
it.
one of my favorite things.
And you've made it.
Exactly.
All right, News Time at 5:30. Thank goodness it starts right now.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Facebook. Sorry you can't hear me. Blame Lindsay. I'm taking that mic tomorrow.
We can't.